Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob here from REdisCOVERY. I'm having a late night sitting outside. It's real nice outside, and I was just pondering some things. I figured I'd do a late night video. I noticed some issues with my last video when I tried to play them, so hopefully we don't have any issues with this. I want to go over some of the things that I used to survive withdrawals and detox when I went through it 8 years ago. Now, being so long ago, I don't probably have as descriptive of a way to convey that to you, but I'm going to do my best. A lot of people, I know I did a lot of research when I was going through it, when I had the energy to type, was how to make withdrawals feel not as bad, how to make the pain less, how to get through the emotional aspect of it. And the thing is, what's difficult is it's different for everybody. Like, no two people are the same. When you talk to people, one person will emphasize the joint pains, the bone pains, the skin crawling. Another person might emphasize the issue with sleeping. So it's kind of hard to zero in on that, but I'm going to tell you my experience, what I went through, and hopefully it might help somebody. When I quit using, I was chemically dependent on opiates like heroin and methadone, but also cocaine and Ritalin and Xanex. So I was actually detoxing from more than one thing. I was doing every drug I could get my hands on every single day. So for those of you wanting to know, I'll tell you the science aspect of it all, because that really explains why what I did helped me and why it could help you. So when you're going through withdrawals, one of the reasons that you feel so shitty is because your serotonin and dopamine levels are so low, way lower than they should be. You're not happy, you're not feeling good, and you got to find ways to stimulate that, and it's really hard to do when you're going through that. What I mean by stimulating that is, when you play video games or watch a movie or having sex or having a funny conversation or anything that's enjoyable, you get a good feeling about that. That's not just because you feel good, that's because of a chemical release in your brain of dopamine. Your serotonin levels rise and it makes you feel good. So you got to find ways to do that for yourself. The first couple days, it's going to be hard to concentrate on that. You're not going to want to do shit. You're going to want to lay around and mope and cry and everything else, and that might be okay. So let me start with the physical things that you can do that might help those first couple of days before your mind is clear enough to start making plans. Hot showers. Ask any addict, they'll tell you hot showers are fucking golden, man. And why is that? Because your skin has many nerve endings and it's very sensitive, so when you run that hot water all over your body, it kind of overrides all the pain that you're feeling, the physical pain, and makes you feel a lot better. For me, I did a lot of hot showers, but another thing I did, which is kind of weird, I haven't heard anyone else talk about this, was I went swimming a lot. I quit in the summer, so jumping in an ice cold pool had the same effect, just cold water. And it just felt so good on my body and my bones and my abdominal pains and things like that. And it kept me busy for a couple hours. And I shit you not, I swam every day. I didn't miss a single day of swimming. I did it all summer long. It was like it was a sport for me, and it helped. Number 2, staying busy physically. Keep yourself occupied for 2 reasons. 1, because the more you lay around, the more you're going to think about how you feel, and it's going to exaggerate that. Number 2, because I don't know if you know this, but exercise actually releases dopamine and makes you feel good. I know it probably doesn't make much sense because a lot of people, exercising sucks and they don't enjoy it, but for real, long walks or hikes. I found myself volunteering to do stuff I didn't even want to do. I called my dad up, he's like, I got some scrap wood that needs tore apart and cleaned up. I'm like, shit, let's do it for free. That's not the type of stuff you wake up and want to do. But I knew it was going to feel good, so I did it. I started going and visiting people that I stopped visiting because I stopped visiting because I was on drugs. They didn't want me around. So here I find myself in this environment, right, with all these people who I haven't kicked it with in a while, having normal conversation. being a normal person. I wasn't nodding out. I wasn't thinking of getting my next fix. And I found myself doing some really goofy shit when that would happen, because I'd be sitting there and they'd be having a random conversation of something random and stupid, and I would just smile like a dork because I was so happy and I was just so excited to enjoy a conversation. You don't feel those things when you're all doped up, you're numb to everything. So go around good people that don't do drugs. If you occupy yourself with those people, you'll start to change your whole circle, and then those other people will fade out. I changed my phone number. I completely cut off anybody that was doing drugs, get rid of the temptations, and that helped a lot. So, and then the other thing I did was, after a few weeks, when I got through the worst part of it, which my withdrawals lasted for a while, but I decided, this whole making myself feel good thing and increasing dopamine levels is doing well, so how else can I do that? I got to find things that are would give me extreme highs naturally. So I was like, you know what? I was kind of a piece of shit before I did drugs. So what things could I accomplish in my life that I didn't accomplish before? Well, I was 27 years old. I had no car, no license. I dropped out of school, no GED, never been to college, no job, all kinds of things, and one by one. I didn't overwhelm myself and try to do it all at once. One by one, went and got my license, bought a car, got a job, enrolled in school. Over the course of 3 years, I was like a beast. You couldn't stop me. I was addicted to succeeding, and it kept me so occupied that I didn't have time to even think about drugs. And I was so overwhelmed with just feeling accomplished and good about myself, so, and that's kind of later on. But let's talk about the first week. So one of the things I felt the worst was bone pains and aches, burning. I remember drawing a picture for my grandma to explain to her how my body felt while I was detoxing. And I drew fire coming out of my elbows, my wrists, my face. I could literally feel the lines of my skull under my skin because it was burning along the edges. My brother's watching. He actually was there. He's seen some of it. He would come over and hang out with me and watch movies. And one time I was laying in bed and I had ice packs on both elbows and both knees because my knees hurt too. And I mean, that's how intense the burning pain was. I thought about cutting my limbs off, and the pain was so severe that I was suicidal. I thought that I would rather just die than have to go through what I was experiencing. It was terrible. And some people tell you their withdrawals weren't as bad, and I'm jealous of those people. But in the same token, here's something that's really important. I want everybody to listen to this, pay attention to this. And if you're not an addict, but you know an addict, and they ask for tips of getting through withdrawals and how to survive and stay off drugs and not relapse, this is key. And I just heard somebody else say it the other day. I want cold turkey. I didn't choose Suboxone or methadone. Not because that doesn't work for some people, because I know it does, but the reason is what's important. Because I knew that I needed to suffer. I knew that I needed to experience hell, because that was going to develop a fear in here and keep me from ever wanting to go back, because I would know, hey, now you got to go through that same experience again, and it's going to suck. So that's been kind of my protection, is the fear that I built inside of here. I created a new neural pathway in my head that remembered and attached pain and fear with drugs instead of pleasure and high. No longer when I thought about drugs did I get excited about getting high. When I thought about drugs, I thought about puking, diarrhea, joint pains, burning, no sleep. Insomnia is the worst. Anybody watching this that's been through it knows you don't get a fucking wink of sleep. You don't even get 5 minutes of sleep. You'll go 3 or 4 days without sleeping. You get to the point you want sleep so bad that you've never wanted sleep so much in your life. And if you take sleeping medicine, all that does is it kicks in and you're just like this. You have no energy. You're like dead tired, but you still can't sleep. And let me tell you, the first day that you lay down and your head hits that pillow and you fall asleep naturally, you forgot how that felt But when that happens, you'll never feel so good about sleep again. Sleep will become your new favorite thing. You will look forward to it every day because you haven't had it for so long, you know. And before, when you were on drugs, you'd pass out because you were so fucked up. So getting past that first week or two of not sleeping is really hell. But if you do things, physical things, and wear your body down, your chances of falling asleep are a lot better. Hot baths, hot showers, be active, things like that. I remember, this is another crazy part of the story. I got so involved in the concept of stimulate the senses that beside my bed I had a mini fridge with a little freezer in it. I opened the fucking mini fridge and I stuck my hand inside of the freezer and just let it lay there until it got so cold that my brain started focusing on my hand. Don't do that. I don't recommend doing that. I'm just telling you because it's a funny story. That's how desperate I was and how motivated I was to do whatever I could. And that was the gist of it for me, was the pain and then the emotional stuff. Emotionally, the way I got through it was music, movies, TV shows. It sounds stupid, but you know, when you're watching a movie or you're listening to a song and it invokes like an emotion or a feeling, when you're going through withdrawals, that's 50 times as extreme. I bawled my eyes out like a little bitch to so many songs for weeks, and I felt that shit. The words sunk in. People say, you know, oh, words aren't going to do nothing, you know, you need it for yourself. Well, a lot of those songs and those inspirational lyrics that I heard while I was detoxing is what kept me going, because I connected with it and I related to it. It made me feel real good. If anyone's interested in knowing what songs those were that I listened to on repeat, because it was like a select few, just hit me up, ask me, I'll let you know, or I'll post them on the page later. The anxiety and suicidal thoughts, you know, get into counseling. If you're not opposed to getting on some safe depression and anxiety medicine, then I would say do that, because it really does help. People overlook how much counseling can help. Sure, for some people it don't. Some people say it don't, but it does. Look, I've been going for 8 years strong, right? I still go to counseling. And when I have a bad week and I walk in there, I'm ready to fucking go off and tell them everything. Like, I have so much to say to get off my chest. This person's not going to judge me, really. This person isn't around me. They haven't been conditioned to who I am and how I am. And when I walk out that building, I feel a lot better. Give counseling a chance. It really does help. Meetings aren't for everybody. Some people love them and swear by them. I've only been to maybe 3 or 4 meetings my whole life. I got too much anxiety from them. I didn't want to be around other people that did drugs. I didn't think it was positive for me. And I turned out to be right. But for a lot of people, you may need that. So anyways, I know this is kind of short and I probably didn't cover a lot of stuff. There's so much to go over and talk about when it comes to detox and withdrawals. If you want to know, like, over-the-counter medications and things you can try, really for me, none of those really help, but I can tell you some things that helped other people, other methods and other things. If anybody else has any suggestions or they want to share their experience, please, I encourage you to, in the comment section, or post a video talking about it. We need to, you know, get this REdisCOVERY page a little bit more alive. I know I haven't been participating a lot. I've been real busy, but you know, you guys could help me out. You know, if you got the time and the patience and the will, share your story. Let people know. You know, there's somebody out there right now searching online. How can I make it through withdrawals? How can I survive detox? You could help them, you know. So that's all for tonight. Hopefully this video works well, and hopefully I didn't bore too many people. I know it's real late, so until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.